Hello, I'm doing a movie review, and the movie I want to review is the 1985 comedy classic, The Goonies. Now, The Goonies was directed by Richard Donner, who before this directed The Omen and Superman, and he also went on to be one of the main producers for the television series Tales from the Crypt, and he directed a few episodes of Tales from the Crypt. The story for the film is written by Steven Spielberg, who also is one of the executive producers for the movie, but the screenplay for this movie is written by Chris Columbus, who also wrote Gremlins. Chris Columbus would go on to direct movies like Home Alone and the first two Harry Potter movies. Now, the plot of The Goonies is it's about a group of kids who are from this neighborhood which is being foreclosed on, and it's about to be torn down. So, what happens is, the main character of the movie, Mikey, when he was a little kid, his father would always tell him these stories about a pirate called One-Eyed Willie, who supposedly has this treasure buried somewhere, and what happens is, on the day before their house is about to be torn down, and they have to move out, they find a treasure map in his attic, and this appears to be a map to One-Eyed Willie's treasure, and long story short, Mikey and his friends go on a quest looking for this treasure so they could use it to help their parents pay off these people who want to foreclose on their house. And what happens is Mike's older brother, he gets sent by the mother to go looking for them, and he ends up getting roped into this adventure that they go on, and Mike's older brother's girlfriend ends up getting roped into it as well, along with his girlfriend's friend, and basically they go on this adventure through this cave looking for One-Eyed Willie's treasure, and there's all these booby traps everywhere, and they're being pursued by a family of criminals called the Fratellis, and that's the basic plot line of The Goonies. And in the movie, one of Mikey's friends, a kid named Chunk, ends up befriending a member of the Fratelli family named Sloth, who is this deformed man, and they end up developing a friendship with each other, and Sloth ends up helping the Goonies. But yeah, The Goonies is a classic movie, it really is, and I grew up with this movie, and I do feel like this is one of those movies that you kind of had to have grown up with in order to really appreciate, but it is a funny as hell movie. Like, in this movie, you have a lot of really memorable characters, like Data. Data's freaking hilarious. You have Mouth, played by a very young Corey Feldman, and he is just freaking hilarious in this movie. Like, there's a scene in this movie in the beginning where Mikey's mother brings this woman over the house who is an old Spanish woman who's like, she's helping Mikey's mother with the groceries, and she doesn't speak a word of English, and then Mouth, who apparently speaks perfect Spanish, starts translating stuff for Mikey's mother, and the stuff he says to the Spanish woman is absolutely hilarious. Like, when they go to the attic, he tells her, "Do not go up to that attic. That's where Mr. Walsh keeps his sexual torture devices." And he says stuff like, "The cocaine goes in this drawer and the marijuana goes in the top drawer," and it's just absolutely hilarious what he says to this old woman. Then you have Chunk, who is, of course, a great character as well, and the relationship that he develops with Sloth is actually really touching and really kind of sweet, actually. And Sloth is also a great character as well. And then, of course, you have the main character, Mikey, played by a very young Sean Astin. And Mikey's a great character as well, a very likable character, and you have his older brother, played by a very young Josh Brolin, and I really did like the relationship between Mikey and his older brother. Like, his older brother is like almost the stereotypical older brother who always likes messing with the younger brother, but at the same time, though, you could tell that his older brother really does love and care about Mikey, and the older brother, played by Josh Brolin, is a great character as well. And then, of course, you have the Fratellis, who are very memorable characters from the movie, and even though they're the villains of the movie, they're really funny characters, and even though you're not supposed to like them, because they're also planning on killing these kids, they come off as actually being kinda likable, though, even though they are the villains. And then you have Mama Fratelli, who's played by Anne Ramsey, and she's great in the movie, and she's a very memorable villain in the movie. And Mikey's mother in this movie is played by Mary Ellen Trainor, who was also the mom in the Monster Squad, and she was also in an episode of Tales from the Crypt, and I believe she was actually married to Robert Zemeckis at one point. Now, I just found out today that she actually died back in May, which is very unfortunate, and I didn't even know about it until now, but yeah, it really does suck to hear that she died, but she was a really good actress. Like, I've always remembered her best from her episode of Tales from the Crypt, which was And All Through the House, but yeah, she plays Mikey's mother in this movie, and she was also the mother in the Monster Squad. But yeah, The Goonies is a very funny movie. You have a really funny Gremlins reference at one point in this movie, and one thing I really liked about the movie is there's kind of this running joke in the movie where characters would, like, mispronounce a word, and then one character would correct him, and the character would be like, "That's what I said!" Now, one of the funniest scenes in this movie is a scene in the beginning where Chunk accidentally breaks this statue that belongs to Mike's mother, and he accidentally breaks off the dick part of the statue, because it's like a statue of a nude man, and he accidentally breaks off the dick, and Mike is like, "What have you done? That's my mom's favorite piece!" And Mouth is like, "Well, it should be, otherwise you guys wouldn't be here right now." But yeah, The Goonies is a classic movie. It's a great comedy, and even though there is a lot of adult humor in this, for the most part, it is a family film, and for a family film, it is really good. So if you haven't seen The Goonies, I do recommend checking it out. However, as I said, I do feel like this is one of those movies that you kind of had to have grown up with in order to really appreciate it. But yeah, that's my review on The Goonies, and bye.